Is it just me, or is everybody just completely not into this thing? Like, I've seen the reaction from a lot of people, and majority of it, I mean, from Twitter and all over the place, is people very upset and not excited about this thing, saying basically it's trash, it's nothing but a cash grab. This is them trying to sell chibi merchandise of Dragon Ball characters. A lot of people are just super angry about this thing and not welcoming of it at all. There's of course the Dragon Ball GT comparisons, people that are just like, oh, why are we getting GT again? What's going on here? So for starters, I want to ask you guys, what do you think about it? Based off the trailer that we got, based off of what we've seen thus far, how do you feel about what is incoming with Dragon Ball Daima?
Still moving on, still moving on. This is for my day ones. This is for my day ones. Come on.
For me, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm excited. I've said it in the previous stream before we actually got the announcements, when we were just going off leaks of what Dragon Ball, when it was called Dragon Ball Magic, which I think they should have stuck with Dragon Ball Magic, but maybe they thought that might be a little too kiddie. Who knows? Maybe that's why they put the Daima, putting the word die subliminally and subconsciously will program people into thinking it's not as kiddie because it has the word die in the title. The levels, people. This is, I know y'all think like, oh, what is he talking about? No. They really do think like this. It's subliminal and subconscious marketing, essentially, because then it puts a little bit of edge into your mind of not just thinking about it as, oh, they're all kids now. There's a couple of different things and some stuff that hasn't been pointed out that I thought was fascinating. For starters, of the two people that are there, the two villains seemingly that are watching the monitors, before we even get into the two villains, the fact that they're watching the Majin Buu saga makes me really wonder if they're going to ignore a lot of super stuff, if they're going to complete, because like, why would they be so pressed on the Majin Buu saga stuff? I think if not everything, majority of the stuff that was on that screen was like Majin Vegeta, Babidi, Buu, everything from that particular timeline. So it could very well be that this is leading even further into pushing forward of the ending of Dragon Ball Z, because let's be real, with the introduction of Super and everything we've seen, the ending of Dragon Ball Z, because Super takes place in between the, you know, story of Dragon Ball Z or whatnot, the ending of Dragon Ball Z absolutely doesn't make sense anymore. I know they tried or whatnot. No, it doesn't make sense anymore. Goku and Vegeta are astronomically stronger or whatnot. You know, they had all these transformations. So to make it seem like that one piece of dialogue, like, oh, 13 years after, or 10 years, whatever the hell they say, after the defeat of Majin Buu, the strongest foe they ever fought. No. You know what I mean? On top of making it like, oh yes, Oob is gonna be the new successor or whatnot. It makes no sense. It made sense in Dragon Ball Z because Buu was the last person they fought, the biggest villain, strongest and whatnot. It no longer makes any sense. Like, yo, we beat Buu 100 million years ago. Goku's pinky is stronger than Majin Buu at this particular point. Why are we even playing this game? You know what I mean? So the introduction of Super already destroys things. But then when you go to this new Dragon Ball Daima, the trailer showcases again all this Majin Buu related stuff. It feels like it's trying to push forth back into that mindset of, yeah, the Buu saga was really important, because at this point, once you see Super, it's like, Buu is outdated and not as important anymore. Like, Goku Black was more important. All of these other things were more important. Don't get me wrong, quality-wise, let's not even kid around. And all the stuff that we love from Dragon Ball Z, Buu Saga had some crazy stuff, Majin Vegeta. But in comparison of power level-wise, Majin Buu's arc is not that significant anymore when you got Ultra Instinct that would, you know, shrub these people away like nothing. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be anything. Majin Buu would be nothing. So I feel like with this move that they're making is to cement yet again, like, the importance of Buu. But it still is a little bit wonky, especially if this story takes place in between, like right before the end of Z or something. I feel like it would make more sense, and even then it still wouldn't make sense, but it would probably have been better off to be after Z but before GT. I don't know. It feels like they're trying to go multiverse with this thing. It feels like they're going to try and make it that, like, Dragon Ball Heroes is its own timeline. The movies all have their own timeline. Maybe they're really just trying to go for the Dragon Ball multiverse, and eventually they're going to pull a crossover, so to speak, where, like, well, this is Goku from this one. Like, I was actually reading, I don't know how many people are familiar with the Dragon Ball multiverse manga. It's a fan manga that's been going on since like 2008. In there, that's literally the story. It's like this big world martial arts tournament. All all of the characters, all the incarnations of the characters that we've known from Dragon Ball are in it. So you'll have like a universe where Vegito never was able to defuse, like they stood stuck like that. You have a universe where Cell destroyed Earth and everything, and Cell is like the strongest being in the universe and whatnot, and they all came to this world tournament to fight. But yeah, like from the trailer again, we see those two, they're looking at the Babidi and you know the Majin Buu saga stuff on the screens and whatnot, and then based on the silhouette of one of them, it seems as though one of these two is going to be some sort of evil Kai, like an evil Supreme Kai of sorts. So maybe this could be like an ancient predecessor of the Supreme Kai. But then we'd also have to go into, what was homie's name? The big fat Kai that like Majin Buu, like he eventually became who Majin Buu is right now. We would have to explain his connection, whatnot. So it could be a Kai from another universe altogether, which would be cool, because at the end of the day, I hope that they don't try to ignore Super with Dragon Ball Daima. I hope they don't try to act like, oh, you know, so Z happened and here we are in between, like, because they could very well pull some BS that is going to be very, very bad and make a lot of people very upset, because they could go the route of, hey, Dragon Ball Daima takes place in a universe where Super never happened. This is another alternate universe. That would be bad. Was there anything in the trailer that you guys can recall that included, like, because I don't remember what, they didn't have like a baby Beerus or a baby Whis or whatnot, which those are two, you know, super characters or whatnot. Was there anything in there that showcased like, nah, this is, that's from Super or whatnot? Because if not, then it even further could possibly be that Dragon Ball Daima takes place in a universe that Super never happened. And if that's the case, oh, fans are gonna get so mad. Like if they try to act like this is what Dragon Ball Super was originally supposed to be, because remember, Toriyama also supposedly wrote Dragon Ball Daima. So if they try to act like, nah, this is the new Dragon Ball base, oh my god, I didn't even think of that being a possibility. Also, the idea of going back to like OG Dragon Ball, that's kind of cool. I'm here for, because see, most people don't know this. Most people, or they don't know this, or they don't understand because they got into Dragon Ball with Z and they never looked back. They never, you know, really understood what Dragon Ball was initially intended to be and who Akira Toriyama is. Akira Toriyama's manga prior to Dragon Ball was about poop jokes, homie. Okay? Dr. Slump was about poop jokes, stuff like that. That was what Toriyama's bag. Toriyama is a comedy gag writer that slipped on a banana peel and stumbled into becoming a shonen manga god. It's the most bizarre thing, but that's how we land here. So Dragon Ball, like, that's why I always try to stick to the fact that Dragon Ball Battle of Gods is one of my favorites and what I love about Dragon Ball, because it includes so much of who Toriyama is. Dragon Ball Battle of Gods is one of the closest stories, especially in recent times, to if Toriyama had his way, this is what Dragon Ball would be like. Because then you go to Frieza's resurrection and it kind of drops even more of the comedy and kind of makes it a little bit pathetic on Frieza's part, and things get back to being more and more serious. So you go to Dragon Ball Daima and it looks like it's trying to, once again, is like another crack at Toriyama giving you his Dragon Ball. Which I'm not saying that you're supposed to like it. Nobody's forced to. Hey, maybe you just don't like Toriyama's Dragon Ball. Maybe you much more prefer serious Dragon Ball, and Toriyama's Dragon Ball to you is like, what is that, bro? What? I'm not here for the jokes. I'm here for the fists. I'm gonna keep it real, and I do agree with the Dragon Ball fans on this complaint. I do. I'm with you on this one. It does feel super lame that Goten and Trunks are babies again. I stand with you guys. I won't debate this one. I won't argue it. There's nothing coming from me when it comes to that. Y'all are so right. We had Goten and Trunks as teenage for like 5 minutes, and then poof, now they're babies. I don't even think we get to see them what they look like, because it very well could be again that this is 7 and 8 year old looking Goten and Trunks that get turned into babies. It would have been so fly. It would have been so fun. It would have been so cool if Goten and Trunks were about the same age as Goku, and we could have some sort of rivalries. Like, yeah, Goku could play all day, I'm your father, there's that in the third, but that would be fun as hell to see them kind of like training with him and stuff. I would have been more so preferring of that if they would even have been like in their 7 and 8 year old form or something along the lines of that, or their adult form would have been cool too, or the teenage forms. Just the fact that you're shrinking them down to Trunks is exactly how he looked like in the Android saga, and we never even seen baby Goten. but it's just kind of like such a missed opportunity. In fact, this whole anime is a missed opportunity to have gotten the Goten and Trunks anime that fans have been wanting ever since we heard back in the freaking World Martial Arts Tournament of, yo, they're Super Saiyans at 7 and 8. I can only imagine what they're going to be like someday. Oh, they turned into failures. They didn't do nothing. They never amounted to anything like their fathers, like Goku and Vegeta. You know what I mean? It almost shits on the whole Dragon Ball. Now that I think about it, kind of essentially takes a massive jump on the idea of the strength of the half-breed. You know how most stories tells you, like, yo, the half-breed, he got the best of both worlds, you know what I'm saying? Dragon Ball basically is like, look at Gohan, because of him being a half-breed and because of his mom's teachings and whatnot, he ended up not being a fighter, and it puts the world in grave danger. What else happened in the trailer? Everybody got turned into kids, which I feel like that balances it out, changes it up drastically from just being like GT all over again. Now they're all as kids, but then it's a double-edged sword, because it's like, okay, so who's gonna be the adults? Because now even Vegeta's a kid, Goku's a kid, we saw Bulma and Chi-Chi are kids, and then who is gonna be the ones going on this journey? Because based off of the original leaks, and even you see a little bit in the trailer, we know that Goku and Supreme Kai are gonna be going off on that adventure together. Who else is gonna be going? I don't just want Goku and Supreme Kai by themselves sounds boring. I'ma just keep it real. It sounds like Supreme Kai quivering in his boots at every turn, and Goku just being happy-go-lucky, depending on what Goku we get. Because that's another thing. We don't even know what Goku we're gonna get. Are we gonna get Z Goku / GT Goku that is, you know, I don't want to say mature, but like, you know, he's a father, he's intelligent, he's serious when he needs to be? Are we going to get the bumbling idiot from Super that is just, hey guys, let's put the whole universe at stake because I want to fight? Like, which Goku are we getting? Because that's going to determine as well the whole vibe of this thing. If they decide to actually bring Goku back to who he was, they have to. I'm going to put it right now. They have to bring Goku back to his more Z-esque, Cell Saga-esque type of personality. Because if he's going to be shrunken down as a kid, you can't have it both ways. You can't have him be looking little and then also acting real little. Like, if you have him with his super personality is damn near the equivalent to literally just exactly Goku as a kid. You know what I mean? Because Super really digressed Goku's mentality dramatically. So if you have that along with he's now looks like a kid as well, that's taking it too far. I mean, they could go that route. But I don't know how much further they want to push on fans when fans are already like, get this out of here. We don't want this. We didn't ask for this. I want it. I'm excited. I'm excited for fun. We had Chainsaw Man. We had Demon Slayer. We had all of, you know what I'm saying? We had Jujutsu Kaisen. We had all the dark stuff. I want fun. That's what I want. I want fun, and Dragon Ball is literally the epitome of fun, especially if you're giving those vibes. But Goku and Supreme Kai by themselves sounds boring. And I hope I'm wrong or whatnot, but at least throw Vegeta on that mission. But then again, it almost will just feel like Super, the chibi version, because a lot of Super stuff has been Goku and Vegeta together. Like, you know, the Moro stuff is Goku and Vegeta versus Moro. Granola, Goku and Vegeta. So maybe they might not go that route. Again, if they didn't turn Goten and Trunks into babies, we could have had like Goku with Goten and Trunks. That would have been fun. We still got a year to wait. You know, it's not until October, you know, fall of next year that we're getting this thing. Literally, I wouldn't be surprised if all they have is that trailer. The same way that they did Chainsaw Man, how they had that trailer, and that trailer was literally based off of just somebody making a trailer, and it had nothing to do with an actual animation piece. This might all be animation that they just made on the spot for that trailer to see what people's reactions are. Maybe they might surprise everybody. If they don't ignore Super, we could still have adult Beerus and Whis. So Beerus and Whis has been some of the best things, probably the best characters that have been introduced to the Dragon Ball franchise since the end of GT in 1996. Like, there hasn't been any other characters that have been prominent, have been beloved, and have been just great additions, allowing the story to flow, the plot to move precisely, all of that jazz. But again, a part of me feels like this Dragon Ball Daima is to start separating the Dragon Ball brand away from everything that Super had established. Because you got to think too, we're just about 10 years into Dragon Ball being in one form or another within the realms of Super. The Battle of Gods movie came out, I think, 2012 or 2013 in Japan. So we're pretty much 10 years since Dragon Ball started introducing the elements that would ultimately become Super, which Super dropped in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So we got 10 years into Super. Dragon Ball might be wanting to, even though they've done the Super manga and you know, they've done these movies that are based on Super, and eventually the anime has to adapt that manga stuff. I don't see them ignoring that. They probably do want to start telling people, hey, Dragon Ball is not just Super. That's why we've been having this terrible Dragon Ball Heroes, clip show, fan service galore anime all along. Maybe they want to expand the Dragon Ball brand past just the Super stuff. Maybe this Dragon Ball Daima stuff came about because of the reaction to Dragon Ball Superhero. While some people, were still standoffish on it, ultimately the family-friendly elements of the Dragon Ball Superhero movie really brought in a lot of a diverse cast that Dragon Ball has never had access to. That might be why they did Dragon Ball Daima. This isn't nothing new. A lot of franchises have done this before, down to Baby Looney Tunes. There's literally, I remember back in the day, I used to watch Baby Looney Tunes, whereas the Looney Tunes in diapers at a daycare center. So this is essentially Baby Dragon Ball, if you think about it, what they're attempting. But the thing is that it's not Looney Tunes. Dragon Ball is Dragon Ball. You still gotta serve the fans what they want at the end of the day, even if you're gonna put the costume as that. Because I can recognize where they're like, I can recognize that Super was made because Dragon Ball Evolution was a failure and they had to revitalize the franchise brand and all that jazz. I can recognize that and still watch Super and enjoy it. I can recognize that Dragon Ball Daima may very well be a push towards getting younger fans in, a push towards merchandise and all of that jazz. But if they make some cool stuff with it, why can't I enjoy it? Why can't I be excited about it if I'm like, yo, it's still Dragon Ball at the end of the day. It's not that they're going to have Goku going goo goo gaga for the, every freaking episode or whatnot. I could still recognize what their intentions of, what they're trying to profit behind. And as long as it's not nothing, like, obviously I don't morally disagree with any, like, yo, they're trying to make money using a different tactic. They're not doing anything foul. They're not hurting anybody or whatnot. I can still be excited about this thing because I think it's going to be cool. I'm just wondering, like, what, because, one of the biggest things people aren't thinking of as well right now is transformations. There's going to be transformations, brand new ones. What are they going to be? Who the hell knows? I think that this is the opportunity for what fans have been screaming for. Fans have been screaming Dragon Ball Super for a while now. We're sick and tired of the hair color swap. That's all the transformations have been, change the color of the hair, change the color of the hair. Now's the time, if you're going to do it like what GT did with Super Saiyan 4 with a brand new design. Now you have the opportunity. Dragon Ball Daima is not based on any manga. Dragon Ball Daima is something that, is unexpected. Wow, people. Give people a new Super Saiyan. Maybe give them the original Super Saiyan 4. Maybe ignore GT altogether. Let's act like GT never happened. And give the original Super Saiyan 4 design with the cape that Toriyama designed. That would be fire. I'd be here for it. Despite fans' criticisms, despite fans not being excited about this, I can bet my bottom dollar that once things kick off, once we get the big bad villain of the series, and we got Goku and Vegeta going into new forms and all that, everybody is going to be talking about it. Everybody's going to be excited, loving it. And I think that that's okay. I'm going to tell you right now. I think it's okay when the people that come around to it do come around to it. Because I think it's also very much so justified of people saying, there goes Dragon Ball. There goes anime, but there goes Dragon Ball. Once again, giving something to the fans that they didn't ask for. But I bet you're going to like it in the end. I bet you we're going to rock with it in the end. As long as they don't play it too much with this kiddie stuff, as long as they start giving us elements of, again, a big bad villain, the forms, new forms, let's get creative here. We're tired of the hair color swap. Give us something like in the vein of Super Saiyan 4 and some cool story. I think fans is going to be turning around to it. And, 2 years from now, I'm going to say, obviously it starts in a year, and then year after that, people are going to be reminiscing about how much they enjoyed this fight and that fight, and people are going to be doing predictions and theory. It's going to be a big deal. But people right now are just doing what people do, and of course, a lot of content creators that they got to go with the flow, you know what I'm saying? Can't be the outlier. I don't want to stick out. I don't care if I stick out or I stick in. I'm just going to be me, you know what I mean? And me, I'm excited for this. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm going to watch this and hopefully enjoy it if it's good.
Thought it would have been, wish it would have been. Acting like I'm fine is getting harder to pretend. I said, thought you would have been, wish you would have been. Maybe I was wrong, it was me all along.